right now we're talking about how to place and accept an offer in real estate. This is part 1 of 2. We're talking about the buyers today, and on December 13th, we'll be talking about the sellers. Okay, so it sounds simple, right? Well, it's not that simple, okay? You can see that every buyer has their own motivations as well as sellers. So it's super important to understand the opposing party as much as possible before placing that offer. Okay. And this is where a seasoned real estate professional can really provide you with value on buying and selling. Okay. It's all important. This kind of boils down to the negotiation end of things. But you as the buyer or you as the seller, you guys play the most vital role in this process. Okay. So let's talk about the different buyer types. Okay. This is first timers. This is people that have a home to sell. This is cash buyers, and these are builders we're talking about today. There's also, other folks like 100% financing or veterans or relocation, and we can talk about those another time. Okay, but let's talk about the first timers. So as a first-time home buyer, if you know one or if you are one, you know that they're nervous the whole way through, and I guess you can't blame them because it's a huge, huge thing. Buying your first home, you're going to be nervous. What do you expect? You've got this home that you think you're going to be mortgaging for 30 years, but realistically, everybody sells an average of 5 to 7 years. But anyways, you got this huge mortgage over your head. It's the biggest purchase of your life, okay? And, the one thing that you're worried about is obviously making a mistake. What if you can't pay this payment? What if it's too much? What if you're taking on, what if the house needs too many repairs? Yada, yada, yada. There's 100 million things going through your mind, okay? But it's important for you to understand the current market, okay? The current market, it is a seller's market. And you can't go lowball offers when the house is priced appropriately because somebody is going to come behind you and is going to scoop this house up, right? So that seems pretty basic, but there's so much more to it. Okay, let's say that you go into a home that's priced at $200,000 and throw in an offer that's way less than market at, say, $170,000. Well, now not only are you going to insult those sellers, but they're not gonna want to give you seller concessions, which most first-time home buyers need. Okay, what is a seller concession? Well, that is closing cost credit basically, and that covers your mortgage broker's fees, it covers your attorney's fees, and it also covers some money that you would put in escrow for taxes and insurance. Okay, so oftentimes in say a $200,000 house, you're asking for about $5,000 in closing costs. Assistance, okay? Keep in mind that doesn't go towards the seller's net proceeds. That goes against it, okay? So that offer for, I believe I said 170 is really 165 on a $200,000 house, okay? If that house is priced to market, that's super duper low, too low. They won't take it. Also, keep in mind that when you go and buy a house, it's most likely not going to be brand new construction. So there's going to be some issues with the house. When you get the inspection report, it could be 80 pages full of stuff. You're not going to want to move into that house with like leaky plumbing or with a busted furnace. Now, keep in mind, the seller is going to be unable to pay for this stuff or not willing to pay for this stuff with a super low ball offer. Even if you negotiate, let's say 180, 185 on it, do you think a seller is going to offer you $5,000 in closing costs and also fix all of these issues? Most likely not. I would say 9.9 out of 10 times, no. Okay, because they know at market rate, they're going to get a really good price for their home as long as their realtor is doing their job. Okay, let's talk about the next group of people. They have a home to sell. Now, what inspired me to write this entire segment and make a blog out of this was an offer that I recently received on one of my listings. Okay, it's an amazing house. I priced it perfect to market. We had tons and tons of traffic through there, and we got these buyers that came in and fell in love with the property. I could tell it was the property for them. However, they threw a super low ball offer on the house. Okay, way too low, and that's okay, I guess. You got to start somewhere. It's normal. We work with that all of the time. But what really bothered me about this was that they have a home to sell, and their home wasn't even on the market before placing this offer. Now, again, everybody likes to do things differently, but that does not set you up for success when you're making offers. Sellers are not going to take your offer seriously if you still have to sell a home and your home's not even listed yet, okay? So if you have to sell a home and you're buying a home, that's okay. That's common here in Rhode Island, okay? Especially in the higher price ranges of north of 250 or so, okay? So make sure when you have a house to sell that you list your home, okay, and that you price it as well to market, because also one of the things that a seller's agent is going to do when you place an offer on their client's home is they're going to look at the desirability of your house. They're going to look at market price, and they're going to make sure that it can sell. Why would a listing agent advise their seller to take their home off of the market and go into a contract with somebody that A, doesn't even have their home ready to sell, or B, somebody that has their home way too high in price, right? That's crazy. It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't advise clients to do it. And the third point for you, if you have a home to sell, is keep in mind there's a such thing as the kick-out clause. So basically, you get into this agreement, and it says, I always do 48 hours. So basically, if another buyer comes in and makes an offer, within 48 hours of that offer, you have to clear that contingency. So basically meaning you better come up with cash if you want that house, or you have to put your home in pending so that you can move forward. Okay. And if you want to see a full list of this, by the way, give me a few days after today and we'll have it up on the website. We'll have the blog there. Okay. All right. So the next one is cash buyers. Okay. Cash buyers seem to always feel, because they're paying with cash, that they can offer very, very low offers. No. Okay. No. A seller is more likely to take a higher priced offer over a lowball offer in this type of market. However, you got to play up the benefits. You got to play up the strengths if you're a cash buyer, okay? Make sure that your agent is throwing out there that you don't have a mortgage contingency, okay? So that's one less reason that you can pull out of the agreement 3/4 of the way there. That's a lot of time that you could have somebody's house off of the market and pull out if you're somebody with a mortgage. So as a cash buyer, that's a pretty big strength, okay? And if the seller is motivated enough, that may just be enough to for them to take your offer, even if it's a few thousand less, over somebody with a mortgage, okay? Also, another thing you could do is as is. If you know that the house is priced right, you can put a little bit of a lower offer in there, and you might be able to grab it as is, knowing that you can go in and do the work, okay? But keep in mind, you're going against folks with a 203K, and these are powerful buyers because they can finance the as is, they can finance all of these repairs as well. So you're not alone out there just because you have cash. And the final point you can do, which almost nobody can do, is a quick close. Okay, so depending on your seller's motivation, you can also offer a fast close to get a seller out of a poor situation. Okay, it could be financial hardship, it could be a divorce, it could be they're relocating and they're under the gun to sell. Could be any of that stuff. If you offer a quick close, they may be enticed to take your offer over anyone else's, okay? Even if it's a bit lower. And the last buyer we're going to talk about today is builders, okay? So builders, you guys are some of the hardest buyers to work with, okay? And it's because you're very demanding, and it's okay. I understand why. It's because it's about bottom line numbers. I'm actually sitting in here with two builders right now. So, but I understand this, okay? And a lot of agents understand this, and you guys have it broken down to a better science than anybody, okay? And again, we can't blame you. So rule of thumb, from what I understand with working over a half a dozen very reputable builders, is that you have to purchase land and do all of the site work for under 25% of the selling price on a home. So basically meaning you have to be able to clear the land, you have to be able to hook up to sewer, you have to hook up to water, all of the utilities and all that for under 25% of the cost of of the list price of the home. So John and John, so basically if you have a $400,000 home, you have to be under $100,000 with land and all site work. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yep.
Okay, great. And it's all about making sure that you're able to walk away with the right amount of profit after the labor, after the materials, and all of that. I mean, nobody wants to work for free, especially a tough labor of love like building. Okay, so there's also, like we spoke about, there's several other buyers we could speak about, 100% financing, veterans, and relocation. And, if you have any questions on any of these, you can go to theroundtableradio.com and check under the expert contributors section, and you can contact any of our contributors. And, most importantly, if you have real estate advice that you need, you can contact me. I would say email is usually the easiest, and it's on there for you. So not next week, but the week after, Sunday, December 13th, stay tuned as we discuss the seller side. Okay, this is great intel when buying or selling. You're going to want to share this with your friends and family, and you're going to want to tune into that. And again, you can check out all of our blogs and our videos on theroundtableradio.com.